And welcome back to another episode of Short and Sweet, our podcast here at 1623 Studios, where we celebrate all things food and drink in and around Cape Ann. I am Kory Curcuru, along with my co-host, Heather Atwood. How are you, Heather?
I'm good, Kory. How are you?
Great to see you again.
Nice to see you.
We're going to bang out a couple more shows today.
We are.
Two great guests. We want to get to our first one right away because we're excited, and this is timely as well. It is Niki Bogin of the Cape Ann Farmers Market. How are you, Niki?
Great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We really appreciate your time. And we're about, a week away or so.
1 week from today.
Beautiful.
Yep, June 6th, 3 to 6:30.
All right. So, and when this airs, it'll probably be up and going, right?
Pretty much
Oh,
in
yeah.
there,
Right.
Somewhere in there,
Yep.
So let's say that time again.
So June 6th, 3 to 6:30, and we run right through October 10th.
So every Thursday.
Every
3 to
Thursday.
6:30.
Stage 4 Park, you can't miss
Stage
it.
4
Now
Park.
celebrating our 12th year of the Farmers Market.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Wow. Yes. It has been that long.
Okay, let's start there. How
Okay.
did it start?
It actually started when the food co-op was closing, and they had some money left, and they hired a firm to figure out the best way to carry on their message, and they decided that a farmer's market would be that way to support local food.
And
So
what
that's
was
how it
that was
started.
their message? Local food.
Well, they wanted to support local food, local agriculture, be a source for healthy food on Cape Ann.
And has the location changed over the years?
We've had 3 locations. We started on Harbor Loop in 2006, and that was a really small 4-week run with 7 vendors. And then we were there for a few years. We moved to I-4C2 for 1 year. That was not very successful.
I fell down the hill trying
You
to get
did?
there.
Did you
Well,
really?
not
There
really,
are
but it was
so many stories. Yeah, we had 2 hurricanes run through.
Oh, it was an awful year.
Yeah, it was a really bad year.
Right.
And then we almost didn't survive that. And then in 2011, I believe, we moved to Stage 4 at Park, and that really just a beautiful fit. You know, it's beautiful, and we had the parking, and we had the space, and a lot of people came out and just said, wow, we haven't been here in years, and here it is, this beautiful community space.
Best
that's being used.
Instagram photos ever
Yeah.
of the farmer's market with the ocean behind
Yeah.
and the gazebo. It's really gorgeous.
Beautiful backdrop. That's an event that just befits the community perfectly, too. I love that. How it works up there for it, too. And I talked to a lot of the vendors, especially the last 2 seasons, and they say you're killing it up there. Like, they're really happy.
Well, we've been doing great. It's funny, when we first moved up there, we had vendors coming, from all over, and they would all say, wow, we don't even care if we make money. We're just so happy to get to spend the day here, you know. It is really nice. It's been a great location for us. I know there are some folks who were upset that we left downtown, but for the most part, I think it's worked, and it's given access to Gloucester, Manchester, West Gloucester. You know, that seemed a lot further away for us when we were downtown. So
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's still that Lanesville, Folly Cove where I live.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a little challenge, but that's okay. That's fine.
all our little republics here in Gloucester.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so we have dozens of vendors now, right?
We have. So we actually had at one point 60 vendors. That was like at the height of the farmers market craze, and there weren't as many farmers
So
markets
what
around
year
us.
would that have been?
I would say 2015 was probably the absolute height of our farmers market because we were the only ones around. Everybody was launching a local business, and we were it. And it was great. It was like, so 2015, 2016, and then we've seen a decline in vendors because there's so many more markets for people to sell at. And also, I think folks realize how hard it is to make a living creating a local food and trying to sell it. And
Okay, I have to throw in my theory right here, just
Okay.
because we're talking years.
Okay.
And we can return to all these conversations. But I just want to point out that in 2015, we had 7 years of a national conversation about local food.
Yes.
We had someone in the White House, talking local food, talking eating healthy.
Yes.
And there was lots of positive energy around that.
Yes.
And in 2016, that conversation ended. And it's really interesting how now you're saying that there's been a descent in interest, right?
I think there's been a shift in a lot of ways. And part of that is there's just other things that folks are thinking about besides local food. It's certainly not, a message coming out of the White House right now. And that combined with, I don't know. I don't know much about the economy, but I would just say that people are working differently, thinking about making money differently. And, starting a pickle company is not really, a means to make a lot of money fast.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's a stretch, but I just did want to say
Yeah.
that when you look at those years,
Yeah, I
it's
agree.
kind of interesting,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But I also wanted to ask, well, we wanted to talk a little bit about the way people are buying food.
Yes.
We'll just add this to the conversation
Yes.
right now. They are buying food differently, and that's
Totally
interesting,
differently,
right?
So we have big box stores selling organic food. We even have, Whole Foods moving here very soon. I believe they're coming to Beverly in the fall of 2019. But they're close enough in Linfield where they started to hurt us.
That could have a huge impact.
Oh, it's gonna be
Yeah,
huge,
it's gonna be a
right.
big deal.
And then you have, our local Common Crow, which is wonderful. We're so thankful to have them, but they expanded and they have a full grocery now. And then, you also have mail order. Amazon, I mean, you can call up, you can just, get everything delivered right to your door. And then my daughter said, which I didn't even know about, there's, special boxes that you can order of food. I don't know what those are
Well,
called.
Blue Apron.
Blue Apron,
Yeah,
and
so
right.
it's a weekly meal that
Right.
arrives in your.
Yeah.
Right.
And, all of it, unfortunately, is actually a lot easier than driving to your local farmer's market, doing your shopping, getting out your bags. Of course, you lose the beautiful community part of it and meeting your food producers and
Right.
saying hi to people and being outside. But
So let's linger on that for a minute. What
Okay.
is the social value of a farmer's market? What does it give to the community?
Well, it's interesting. We just had a focus group for our advisory committee, and the number one thing that came up for our farmers market, besides access to fresh, local, good food for all members of our community, was that we are a community event. We're a place where people can come. They can do their shopping. They can see old friends. They can listen to music. They can take a walk in the park. They can
Plenty for the kids to
Plenty.
do.
There's a children's activity that Art Haven has helped us host forever, maybe the whole time. I can't even remember how long. We have these incredible musicians. We have concert series now. We have nonprofit tents. And then we have places where you can just pick up a good meal and take your kids to the playground. It's a whole thing. It's like you can spend a half hour, you can spend 2 hours.
Yeah,
and,
there's a playground there, actually.
Right, exactly.
Even more, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, I think that farmers markets have a long history of being part of the fabric of communities all over the world. But we're losing a lot of it.
And it's also acted as a really important incubator, small
Yes.
business incubator
Yes.
for a couple of key businesses in this community,
That's
right?
a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been a big part of our mission since we started, was to help give really, really small micro businesses a way to launch. And I think that we've been very successful. We've launched probably over 200 micro businesses that have gone on.
Wow. I was
To-
just going to name 4. It's over 200?
Yeah, well, we've been
awesome.
doing it a long time.
Yeah.
And, some of them have turned out to, in the end, not be successful. But yes, I mean, we've, when we sit down and look at the list, we're like, wow, we did all this,
Yeah. So the Nutty Redhead,
Of a
Yeah.
Nutty
Pigeon
Redhead.
Cove Ferments,
Maitland Pickles.
Maharusi
Yeah.
Market,
Maitland Farm Pickles.
Maitland Farm Pickles.
Pam's Salsa, In Good Taste Salsa. Mojo Coffee
Yep.
Right. I love
started with us. We could go into farmers, but let's see who else for food. I have to really go back in my. We had what's the hard cider in Salem?
that. Oh, Fall from the Tree.
Fall from the Tree. We had Saintly cider last year. We had a wine out of Harvard, Massachusetts that did really, really well that started with us. I could go on. Yeah.
And I just want to point out how enriched the community is because we have these small businesses.
Right.
It's to have the Pigeon Cove Ferments is such a great business.
Yeah.
And to think that it's this young couple who live in Pigeon Cove and they're using local cabbages.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes it a richer community.
Yep.
Right. And it
For
makes
sure.
Yeah. All these all
Food
these
is
products.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the thing that brings people together all the time. This is what.
And it feels great too when outside of the farmers market season, when you're seeing these products pop up in the
Right.
local stores here too.
Right.
Cape Ann Fresh carries a lot of those
Right.
products. I mean, they're all over the shelves. So that's a great thing to see as well. So my one question is how spooked are you by the weather forecast every week?
Oh, it's funny. My first season used to check the weather all the time, and then I suddenly realized that they were wrong most of the time. So now I don't even look. And, it's always been, it's going to rain. Should we come? I'm like, you should all come. And chances are it won't rain. And the day when it doesn't say it's going to rain, so we're like, rain or shine, no matter what, we will be there.
Yeah.
I think that we've sent a really consistent message that we will be there no matter what.
Yeah, and I was going to say, so now seeing the behavior of the farmers markets these days, what is sort of the marketing angle? Is it support the local farmland, support community, to be part of a bigger event than just a shopping experience per se?
Well, I think we're always trying to reinvent and relook at what we're doing and what our mission is. The Cape Ann Farmers Market is a little unique in that we were started as a not-for-profit market, which is a different model than other markets. And so we've had a mission to help support small local food vendors, to be a source of healthy food for all members of our community regardless of income, and to support farmers so that in turn we're supporting over 700 acres of open space on Cape Ann. So that's a lot for a mission, but also we're beginning to think if we need to redefine that, maybe focus in. I'm not sure. So we're taking a look.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit beforehand about how farmers are working differently. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, when we started, hardly anyone was using the internet in the way they are now. And also farmers definitely were not using the internet, right? So this farmers markets were a way for farmers to sell their product and let people know that they existed, where they were, how to find them. Okay, they don't need a farmers market anymore to do that at all. Then also, it's
because people are finding them on the
just
internet.
Google it, right?
And they go and
they can go
sign up
there.
for a CSA or
Right, and then that's the other thing is farmers realize that CSAs are a much better model for making money. They're less time consuming. They're more cost effective. You know exactly how much you need to grow. So then the farmers market, I think, has become either a launching point for really tiny farms, of which we have 2 new ones joining us this year. I'm super excited.
Cool.
Like
Tell
just
us their
starting.
names. Tell us.
We have, Crown Root, I think, is one of them. And the other one is, I'm not going to remember
That's
this.
okay.
That's all right.
Okay, he started with us last year on a trial with the Tufts New Entry Sustainable Farming Program, and now he's coming into his own this year. So we're really excited. And they're all farming, like just tiny bits of land. But
I love that.
yeah, so the CSA model, it really works better for farmers. And they don't need to advertise through us anymore.
So for those who don't know what that is, can we just explain what the CSA is all about?
Well, community-supported agriculture, and it is basically you buy a share of the crop. So you put your money forward to the farmer in advance, and they can use that money. And then you have your weekly supply of what that farmer's growing. Right. And it's basically a box of what they're growing at that time. So you can't say, well, I want all the tomatoes. You will get some tomatoes, but you will also get, whatever cabbages and zucchinis and whatever is an equal share of the crop seasonally.
And there's no guarantee. I mean, there's been 1 year in 12 years where the farmers really struggled and people did not really get the full share of what they were hoping for. But usually you get way more than you ever asked for. And it kind of forces you to cook with truly what's local and in the moment, whether you know what to do with that vegetable or not.
Yeah, it's great that way. You really have to flex some cooking muscles for sure.
Kohlrabi. I learned a lot about kohlrabi.
and we keep saying, why do they keep growing kohlrabi? Because we don't know what to do with it, but we're learning.
I dip it in hummus.
What is kohlrabi?
Yeah.
Well, kohlrabi is a root vegetable, and it's generally about that size, but they can be that size, and they can be that size. Pale green. It has an outer layer that you do need to peel off because it's kind of tough. Inside, it's kind of crisp and vegetal tasting.
Right.
So
it can have a little bite sometimes.
Right, a little turnipy bite.
I think it is in the turnip family.
Yeah,
actually.
so when you roast it, it has that little bit of a bite, so it doesn't become super sweet. If you sort of microplane it, so that these really thin slices, that's pretty good in a salad with some, and I do lemon juice and just like Maldon salt and things over it, and that's pretty good. But it is not like instantly yummy. That's the problem. And there's always kohlrabi in your CSA
because
box.
it's really easy to grow.
Yeah.
And it comes up early. So it's a really good one to include in a share.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'd rather have more cabbage. I love
Me too. I'm a cabbage.
Yeah, I love cabbage in my tortillas.
Well, so now you can become a member of the farmers market. How does that work?
So we do have, thanks for asking. We do have a membership program which we launched I think about 10 years ago, and that was to get people to be more invested, in the farmers market. So you can buy a membership for $30, and you get a sticker for your car, which you see all over Cape Ann. You get a little card, and that card gets you discounts at a lot of amazing area restaurants and stores, and also with some of our vendors. And really, if you look online at your discounts, I would say you can make up your $30 in 2 weeks if you frequent any of these great places. And we've had over 500 members over the course of 10 years. Some people re-up every single year, no matter what. Some people come and go, but it's nice. And then it was also a way for us to generate a little bit more interest and a bigger mailing list. And it's nice. We send out a letter, and it's nice to keep connected with everyone.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And if people want to become a member, how can they do that? How can
They
they learn
can
more?
go onto CapeAnnFarmersMarket.org, and there's a membership tab, and you can see all the amazing discounts you get. And sometimes we run specials. Like last year, Patagonia donated a great rain jacket, and you got entered into a raffle to win that if you bought a membership. So there's always something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool.
So tell us what else is new this year in the farmers market, and old. Who's coming back? Who's new?
So we have some of our vendors who have been with us forever, and now you're going to ask me who. So let's go back to Mojo Coffee. I'm just trying to go down the line. Some of our crafters, like Camilla McFadden, who does silkscreen.
She's great.
Yeah, she's great. She's been with us for, I think, since the beginning. And Amanda Cook. We have Farmer Dave, Arrowhead Farm. We have Iron Ox coming back. This is their third year, I believe, and Stacy's going to be cooking too, which is unbelievable.
Nice.
So she's going to be doing pizza and pies.
Stacey Apple is an amazing chef.
Yeah.
She works at Shorten Main. Does she still work there?
I don't know if she still works there. I think she's doing a lot of cooking on her own.
Oh, that's great.
And she's also a member of our advisory committee. We're really excited to have her.
That's great.
So
that young couple is
Yeah,
really wonderful.
they're really
doing great
nice.
things here. Yeah.
And we have Seaview Farm from Rockport.
Love them.
Ken and Richard, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
And they've been with us since the beginning.
I just had Seaview Farm Steaks on Memorial Day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Grass fed. Yep.
Yep,
Great
exactly.
stuff.
Really
And we're
good.
trying to convince Mike Trupiano to come back,
Oh,
but I know, but he's one of the people who, when he stopped having a storefront, he started using the farmers market, and he really, I think at the beginning was like, "What am I doing here?" And he wonderfully, people would flock to go get Trupiano sausage.
Yeah, and
We'll
I
get
think
him back.
that's one of the big sellers at Cake Ann. Those
those
Oh,
hand
really?
pies
Yep.
with
Right.
Trupiano sausage. Yeah, those
Absolutely.
are delicious.
So
yeah.
and Cake Ann and will be back. She always comes in the fall.
Yeah, Inga's great.
Yep, and A&J King
Yeah.
from Salem. They've been with us since the beginning, and they've been really great supporters of our
So
market.
amazing produce, perhaps some local handcrafted sausages, beautiful bakery
Baked
goods, and
seafood.
bread.
Sasquatch smoked
Seafood.
fish. I forgot to mention
Sasquatch,
Sasquatch.
smoked fish.
Right,
Yeah,
and
we
he-
have someone who smokes fish on Cape Ann.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I just had a lobsterman call. I'm hoping that maybe he'll come sell lobsters.
Oh.
We haven't had that.
That would be so cool.
And we have, many bakers. We have Kim Gregory and Tatiana. They've been with us.
They're great.
Yep.
Really great.
So, it's going to be a nice market. It's going to be, I would say, around 30 vendors, plus our nonprofit tents and our children's activity, and a great music lineup. And we're doing 3 concert series put on by this younger organization that's really great.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Yeah.
So when you say 30 vendors, are they locked in before the season starts, or can some kind of join after we're up and running?
Our deadline is April 15th. We're pretty flexible, although I have to say at this point it would have to be something that we really don't have, because, it actually takes a lot to schedule everybody in, make
Right.
sure we don't have a lot of the similar food on the same day.
I was going to say, you have like a floor plan.
And we
set,
have a floor
essentially?
plan, which somebody helps me with, because that's not my strong point.
Well, yeah,
So-
that can be.
yeah.
I've implemented a few of those.
Right.
Exactly.
You
The
stay in
politics.
this corner,
Right.
and you stay in that neutral
Yeah.
corner. Yep.
Yeah, that is not what I'm good at.
Yeah,
Right.
that's like worse than kindergarten.
Yeah, exactly.
Arranging those vendors, I know. Yeah. So I want to know what your wish list would be, Niki.
Oh, my wish
And you can
list.
dream away. Your
Okay.
top 3.
My wish would be that everyone on Cape Ann could afford to shop at the farmers market. And so just to put in a plug, we do take HIP, SNAP, WIC, senior farmers market coupons. We've worked really hard to be a forerunner in that, and that's all available. But I know it's still very little money to actually go spend at the market. My wish would be that everyone would come to the farmers market and participate in this community event and see how important it is and how rich it is there. It's special, you know.
It really is.
And farmers markets have been a meeting place for the community. That's the model, you know.
Yeah.
We want more people to come.
Yeah. The only other place we have is Market Basket to meet.
Right, the meeting, right.
And
I like going to Market Basket to meet people.
Right.
And half the people I talk to are like, I don't go to Market Basket. I don't want to be in the conversations. Well, I go for the conversations.
So that's what's so funny, because we actually last year for the first time had complaints from people. I said, I haven't seen you at the market. Actually, usually it's people feeling guilty when they see me and saying, I'm sorry, I haven't been there. And you know what they said? They said, it takes too much time because I have to talk to people.
I believe that.
Right.
Yeah.
that's such a reflection of our lives these days,
Well,
right?
it's so weird. It's just
Yeah.
like
Let's slow down a little bit.
But we've talked about a few of these weird self-imposed obstacles where,
Right.
it's not downtown. It's just a little bit out of the way. It's a mile that way.
Right.
Right.
And easy parking,
We
by
think
the way.
it might rain, so
Right.
that might keep me away.
Right,
You know,
right.
I might get in I might
It's
enjoy
too
myself
hot.
and have a
It's
good
too cold.
conversation.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's,
And that-
people are funny.
Right.
You know?
I can't get a lemon to go with my fish. Like, it's a whole, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we need a local alternative to lemons. Pigeon Cove ferment sauerkraut.
There you
It's
go.
just the right acid, and it's great with fish.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Right.
Why don't you just walk around with one like a bright yellow thing with
Right.
question marks on it? People can just ask you how to compare this and
I
this.
could do that.
She would like that.
No, but that would be a really interesting table to have at the farmer's market, right? Some local cook who answers your questions.
Oh, I love that.
That'd
Right?
be really
Well,
cool.
that's
Yeah, beneficial.
Stacy's actually been good at that, where she has little cards with recipes for vegetables that people might not always know what to
Kohlrabi,
do with.
yeah.
Kohlrabi being right the top one. Kale.
Kale.
What do
yeah.
I do with all this kale? Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's good. So we should remind her to be available for questions.
Well, so now what other things? I know like the seafood throwdown, that's through the farmer's market too. Are you
So we
affiliated?
started that. Yeah,
Right.
we worked with NAMA to launch the seafood throwdown 10 years ago last year. And, that, of course, has just taken off.
Yeah,
into
that's
some-
done really well.
It's amazing.
Such a popular event.
So we did host a really big one last year, and I don't know if we're doing it again this year. We may kind of be done.
I think NAMA is a little challenged by it. It's hard to get the chefs. Actually, that's really tough to find chefs.
Yes.
2 chefs have to be available. They have to leave their restaurants
Right.
on a Thursday in the summertime, and they have to be prepared and all that set up. It's asking a lot.
it's a lot, and I think it's become more. They're really specific about what they want now. It used to be a little bit freer when we first started, but as it grew, they had to kind of create boundaries around it so they would all be similar. So,
Gotcha.
so I don't know if we're doing the seafood throwdown.
Maybe we need a Kohlrabi throwdown.
Oh,
Right?
I think you
The
need
Iron
to
Chef?
do some cooking
Right.
demos, Heather.
No, I'm not. I will talk to the person doing it. I'm better at writing than cooking. I
Okay.
think, so yeah,
We'll see.
but
We're gonna.
I'm happy to.
I
Get
know.
involved,
yeah,
Atwood.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah.
I have another random question too. I was going to save this for the side dish, but I wanted to ask, where do you put the apostrophe in farmer's market?
Aha! Thank you.
Right.
This
Now,
has
I know
been
where to put it, but yeah.
very
That's
good.
the best question.
This has been an ongoing. I would say it's brought up at every other advisory committee meeting, but now we actually have this great woman on our committee who is a copy editor. And she decided that what we really needed to do was take the apostrophe out of
Oh,
farmers.
okay.
So we
I'm
have
all right with
taken
that.
the apostrophe out,
Excellent move.
and now we're really attempting on every single thing we put out to make sure there's no apostrophe. I know, because it's fallen in many different places.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our farmer's market.
Yeah.
It's
When it's in the word markets, that's when I get really worried
Right,
about who's
right.
hosting.
Yeah. So, and I would like to say that all happened before I came in as the director. So, yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
See?
That's
No
very
apostrophe.
I learned something. Yeah.
Right. It's
yeah.
gone.
Yeah, I'm so glad because that every time I write that word, I'm like, oh,
Right.
I think I do after the S, but I'm going to stop now.
It should be after the S.
It should
Yeah.
be.
Right.
Right. But then we actually, for a long time, and one of our logos had it before the S, and then we had it nowhere at all for a while. So now we're,
Yeah.
Good.
it's very
I
complicated.
think we're good. Yeah. Kill the apostrophe.
Yeah. All right. So what anything else we need to know about the farmers market? Farmers, no apostrophe market.
So let's see. So we're running for 18 weeks. Then we have indoor markets. We have a Thanksgiving harvest market and a Christmas market.
Yeah.
Those are big, right?
Those are big.
Yeah.
And especially the Thanksgiving harvest market, I would say, has become as successful as our outdoor markets. The best way to support your local farmers market is to come and shop and bring your friends. And you don't have to spend a lot of money, but just being there is it's great. It's great for everyone, and it helps to build the energy. We're going to host once again I'm going to get this wrong, the concert series to end gun violence, which is a nationwide concert. So it goes on. There's like a big one in New York and a big one in DC, and then smaller outreaches all on the same day.
That is so exciting.
Yep, this lovely two girls asked to do it last year. They're both in high school. They organized the whole thing. They came. They had performers. It was great, and we're going to do it again this year, and they want to add 2 more. So
dates for
That's
that? Do you
impressive.
know offhand?
I believe the big national one is September 26th, and then there'll be one in July and one in August, and I can't remember. And we have this wonderful volunteer, Janice Fullman, who has organized music for the farmers market, I believe, for 10 years as well.
I mean, just that fact that there's live music there,
Right.
is always so
And we've
wonderful.
had really, it's been so much fun. We've had great people, really great,
Yeah.
It's been a nice opportunity to hear all kinds of performers. So we have that going on. We have our farmers market. We have, I don't know. We don't know what else we have our dinner and a movie fundraiser that just passed in April. We've done that every year. That's been great. There we are.
Well, Niki, let me ask you, so 12 years now, so congratulations once again. And
Thanks.
Why does the Cape Ann Farmers Market mean so much to you?
To me. Ooh, okay. Wow, it's a big question. Well, I got started in it because I love to grow food. And so actually I started as one of the backyard growers selling local vegetables. And then, the idea of promoting local agriculture was huge to me, and that's what really got me involved. And then realizing how important it was to any community and our community and seeing the response. And then meeting all of these incredible people, starting to experiment with different products felt really exciting. And so it's just grown for me. And I feel like we've had an impact, which makes me feel good.
Absolutely. I mean, in those 12 years, we've seen the rise of Alprilla Farm, Cedar Rock Farm, Iron Ox Farm. I'm sure Seaview Farm was around.
And then you
but
have
they
the
really
mainstays, Marshall's Farm.
Marshall's,
Oh, Marshall's,
yeah.
I forgot about.
Bobby, we
Bob-
just had Bobby in. He couldn't stop
He's
gushing about
great.
it.
He was wonderful.
He loves
yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, he does love it, and he's really great. And I'll tell you, he's a very sweet guy. He's actually helped me out of a couple of jams at the farmers
Bobby's
market.
a great guy.
And he
Yeah.
has a major farm stand of his own.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's sort of interesting that he still finds it valuable.
It
to
shows
make-
you how much it means to him and his family
Right.
to
Exactly.
get up and go and bring
Yeah, and he has
staff
his
in person.
kids selling at the market.
Yeah.
It's nice, and that's the other thing. I mean, I should mention that. I've watched a lot of kids grow up with the farmers market and really transition to a friend of ours' daughter. I mean, she was at the farmers market every week with her mom. And, last year she started an internship with the North Shore Food Project and now is really into it. So I feel like we have an effect, and we helped to launch the Backyard Growers Program
I
way
was
back
gonna mention
when.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yep. And I
Yeah.
should also mention that, we've hosted these nonprofit tents. And so we've been able to have, I think, over 70 local nonprofits showcase what they do over the years at the market. And that's been really good for the community. And I've learned so much about all the good work being done here.
Yeah.
Beautifully
So-
put.
Thanks.
Well, Niki Bogin, Cape Ann Farmers Market.
Thank you
Folks,
so
you
much
got to
for
go
having
there
us.
every Thursday,
Every
3 p.m. to
Thursday.
6:30.
Bring your little
Stage 4
children.
Park.
They
Yeah.
will love it. They'll
Yeah.
see farmers and local food being,
Yeah.
grown and
Try to
created.
come 10 out of our 18 weeks. Set a goal.
A great and purposeful community event
Yeah.
and a long-standing one to boot. So let's hope that the farmers market just keeps running and running year after
Thanks.
year.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
It's
your time,
been
Niki.
a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next time on Short and Sweet.